Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Happy Bringling. My name is Anshav Jain. I'm founder and MD of Bringle Excellence UK in India. We are working towards Vision 2020-2030 to transform 1 billion lives, 1 million businesses, and 100 unicorns with an investment fund of $1 billion. We are focusing towards transforming or bringing excellence in three E's: education, employment, and entrepreneurship. And today we have a very eminent guest, Rushabh, who is actually working towards the employability sector a lot. He's connected with almost all the top, IITs and IIMs of the country, the top, engineering and management institutes, and would love to know about his experience and the challenges which students are facing even at these premier institutes. And what does he have to say about those institutes which are not even coming into the numbers or in the rankings? They're just sitting in the numbers out there. So thank you so much, Rushabh, for accepting my invite to record this session. And really excited to see a budding entrepreneur, a young entrepreneur coming in over here and talking about the employability sector.
Thank you.
So Rushabh, over to you. Would love to know more about yourself, your background, your experience, and how did you decide to get into this employability or employment sector?
Sure, Anshavji. Thank you so much for asking me here on this call and hosting me here today. I don't know so much about whether I'm an eminent personality or not, but I would really like to make an impact in the education or employability sector. Right. So with that said, let me just go ahead and give you a quick background about myself. Where do I come from, and how the idea of Bootstrap came into being. Right. So it all begins with my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, where I was an undergrad, working on a lot of green energy projects while in my undergrad. And looking at those green energy and renewable energy projects, my professors and seniors, they suggested that, Rishabh, maybe you should go out and get a master's or something, do something with this scientific knowledge of yours. So I jumped the gun and I decided to do a master's in nanotechnology from University of California, San Diego, the best institute in the world for nanotechnology research, right? So I joined there and I became a research scientist in the beautiful sunny city of San Diego. I was enjoying the beaches over there, right? It was all going great.
Wow.
And soon a startup, they looked at my scientific profile. They decided to hire me as a chief technology officer. So I joined the startup
Yes.
and everything went fantastic. As soon as I joined, maybe a couple of months after that, I would say around 4 or 5 months after that, we were accepted into Techstars Accelerator. What Harvard is for MBA students, Techstars is for us startup founders, right? It's one of the world's best
Wow.
accelerator programs out there. So we joined that and everything was going well until COVID hit us and everything went downhill from there. Investors backed out saying that they wanted to fund their existing portfolio. Customers backed out saying that, hey, your R&D is paused, so maybe you'd have to wait for us to give you more dollars to continue your research in the field of nanotechnology and the battery. So the startup could not afford me anymore. They could not afford my visa, and I decided to jump the gun and I returned back to India. Now, after returning to India, I just went back through my notes at Techstars, and there was this one day at Techstars because of which the idea of Bolstart was seeded into my head. So there's this one fine evening in Techstars where us 10 founders were sitting in a huge, large room, right? All of us sitting together, just writing emails to our customers or whoever you have, right? And one fine gentleman, a founder, let's call him Daniel, he stood up middle of the room and he asks, guys, does anyone know what is workers' compensation? A founder sitting next to him, he just looks at him, Daniel, what's workers' compensation? And a founder in front of them, a third founder,
Very good.
he stood up angrily. He said, you guys don't know what is workers' compensation. You will get so screwed. And then lastly, another founder, he stood up. He's like, guys, calm down. I'll tell you what workers' compensation is. And Anshul, you won't believe this, but CEO of very multi-billion dollar company was sitting next to me. He was scratching his chin and he's wondering, like, what the heck is going on around here? Why are they shouting at each other? What is this commotion? Right? And
Great.
that's when I realized the power of networking in the founder community. And that is when the idea of Polestar was seeded into my head. I realized there are
Okay.
networking gaps in the founder community. And with that, we have founded Bolstart. So, in one single line, Bolstart is a social network for startups to do targeted networking with investors and everyone else in the ecosystem. And for Bullstart, while I was raising funds, I realized that investors in India are a little bit different from investors in the US. They said that, Rishabh, you have to show us some revenue before we even fund you. And with that, I was like, yeah, revenue कैसे generate करूँ? And तभी my co-founder and I, we are discussing, hey dude, we have hired 93 interns for Bullstart in the last 1 year. 93 interns.
Oh,
And they all worked in various different segments such as financial modeling, market research, marketing, HR, and so many more, including tech domain. And this helped us save 45 lakh rupees that year. And I was
wow.
like, hey, I told this to a couple of founders, and they said, Rushabh, can you help us do that for our startup as well? And I was like, sure, why not? I can do that. And then I said, wait a minute, why don't I convert this into a business model, right? So, along with the social network, I added the job portal, which is a very specialized job portal where we enable startup founders to hire live project interns for their company, thereby having fresh graduates some experience even before they get out into the world of employability, saying that hey, we don't only have online course experience, but we have real work experience, which is provided us through startups, and they also get some stipend through it. So this is the whole model that we have created in the employability sector, and I hope I've given a brief intro to my story as well through this.
Wow, I actually that's a news to me that Bolstad is not a employment support ecosystem. It's actually an entrepreneurship support ecosystem. That's
It's
something a
one.
news. It's two in one. Brilliant, brilliant. So I think Rushabh, this has brought me to a very important thought. So could you put some more light, throw some more light about founders networking? And it's
Mhm.
very, very important and difficult
Mhm.
aspect today because every founder, I mean, be it successful or not successful, gains so much experience in just couple of years, which they can't do it even in decades of experience in corporates. Okay. So the kind of what is the thought behind it? How does your platform really work? And
Mhm.
what is this Bold Start all about? I mean, of course, employment was one segment of it, but I would like to know more about your entrepreneurship ecosystem, what you're doing there.
Thank you so much. So there are two parts to it, right? Most people think of founder networking as a part of building a community around it, wherein they build a community on WhatsApp, Telegram, Slack, and that's the end of it. And this
Right.
community is left open where spammers, such as I wouldn't call them spammers, but B2B businesses such as digital marketing agencies or tech developers or any external agency, they would join this kind of a community-based forum, and they would publish about them and promote about them, thereby defeating the purpose of a community. A community in my head is something sort of what I experienced at Techstars. The thought behind Polestar, what you asked me uh, is through this experience. Through Techstars, we were just 10 founders for 3 months in one single room. We interacted with each other. We became friends, right? And that's how we helped out each other because we trusted each other with our lives. No, I won't say lives, but we trusted each other a lot, right? Are
Right.
you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, we were able to trust each other, and that's how we began by helping founders through this. Now, I realized that I could do the same thing. I can create a WhatsApp-based community, Telegram, and Facebook. So, what is it? How is it going to solve any purpose? There is no targeted networking there. So, for that matter, I created a social network of something very similar to LinkedIn, wherein startup founders can do targeted networking with investors and founders. Let's say I a founder, maybe in fintech, edtech, whichever domain. I go to LinkedIn, I search for investors. I would come across thousands and lakhs of investors. Don't know which one is the right for me. So I would go and maybe ask an accredited investor, hey, would you like to invest in my company, blah blah, and he might return back to me after 1 week saying, hey Rushabh, what you're doing is really great, but I'm not from edtech, I'm from agritech. So this 1 week is wasted. I have to go back, find another investor. So this way, I am not able to do targeted networking. On Boldstart, we have a very similar network to LinkedIn, where along with that, you can also find investor targetedly, not just according to your domain, but also according to your location, check size, fund size, and whatever you have, right? Whoever you want to connect with, you can do that transparently on Boldstart. That's the basic gist of it. So it's all about networking on Boldstart, wherein a founder can do trusted networking with each other on the ecosystem. That's the gap we have identified.
Great. So is this platform live right now? Can founders come and really use this platform immediately if they want to raise funds? By the way, we are also raising funds. So can I really get into Bullstart and raise some funds for myself?
Absolutely, you can come and register on Bolstart. You can network with investors and founders all around. Of course, the platform is really at its initial stage, so the number of users on the platform would be minimal. But you would still be able to do networking with founders and at least with us, right, on Bolstart. So that is what you can do for now. In a couple of months, this number is going to grow like crazy. Right now, there is just 210 users on the platform, but this number we are really hoping that it will jump to 1,000 within the next 3 to 4 months.
Lovely. I think it's a very, I think we're diverting it out, but I'm just
Right.
trying to understand because our focus is on to three segments: education, employment, and entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
And entrepreneurship being very core to my heart, I always get into jump into that as soon as I found some founder solving a real problem in entrepreneurship. So as an investor, angel investor, or of course, as a serial entrepreneur, I have seen various situations or scenarios that, people need investments at different point in time, but they
Absolutely.
struggle, literally struggle, because searching it out on LinkedIn, it's like, trying to take a dip in the sea and figuring it out that there will be some pearl available somewhere deep down the sea, right? So the way you are talking about it, it's giving a very good impact because now it may sound, you may have 210 users, but it may, if there are, they may give you the real, the good results out there. So how do you verify them? And let's say if you want to kind of use your platform for my Design Your Unicorn cohort program or the startups who comes to me, is there any way that we could help you as well, your platform as well to grow and of course help other founders to get benefited? So what are the commercials involved and how we can kind of get into that?
Okay. So basically, in commercial side, the platform is completely free to use for now, right? How we enable startup founders to raise funds is by helping them get that visibility in front of investors. Let's say I being a startup founder and you being an investor, I would approach you and maybe after a meeting you might say that, hey Rishabh, maybe we can connect again after a couple of months when I see some more traction, right? But I would feel a little bit shy in connecting with you again, saying I don't know whether this is a good time or not. So for that problem statement, we have found a solution wherein startup founders can write a systemic weekly update in a paragraph format saying कि this week में ये किया, next week we are going to do something else, and this is our ask. We are looking to connect with so and so person. We are looking to hire so and so person. Basically, that's it. On a weekly basis, if an investor sees this along with their graphical metrics, saying that their revenue has been increasing, their expenses are dropping down, number of customers they are talking with is increasing, so then it would excite an investors thinking ki, hey, now this would be a good time to invest in a startup. Because as an investor yourself, Anshavji, look, if you invest in stocks, you would invest in a stock saying that, hey, my 10 rupees should become 11 or 12 the next day. That's when I would invest. And you want the data from that company, right? Same way here on Bolsa, we don't just provide you a profiled data of a startup, but will be able to provide you a behavioral data of startup, wherein you can look at their behavioral analytics. How have they been behaving over the weeks, over the past few months, years, so that you can invest in them at a later stage in the future when they are really going to succeed. That way, you can not just make from 10 to 11, but you'll be able to make from 10 to 100, basically. So that is how we can
So
enable you.
you're basically capturing a data of startup in a very graphic. I mean, basically capturing the raw data and converting that into a analytical or a graphical format, which is easy to understand. And of course, not every founders are those presentation savvy, so it becomes very difficult for them. And the second thing which you are doing is you are also helping investors to take an informed decision, and that this is what maybe this startup is becoming more important at this point in time or more beneficial over a period of time, and that's how they can do it. uh, okay, great. So you are not charging right now, but how you monetize this entire thing? And I think that's one of the question as a founder or even your investors would be asking all of that to you.
Right. So right now for the investor part wherein we'll be able to provide data analytics, that's not yet ready. So I cannot come up with a business model or revenue model for that yet. Of course, I can say that I don't want to sell data of founders, but that's what is being done by Facebook, LinkedIn, and other platforms. When we'll be giving you investment solutions, like what LinkedIn calls marketing solutions, we'll give you investment solutions to investors, right? To show early revenue to investors, how we are going to generate revenue is through that job portal which I just talked to you with you in the initial part, right? Wherein we are enabling startup founders to hire live project intern and saving at least 20,000 rupees per hire per month by hiring interns from our platform. And I can talk in detail about how a founder is saving 20,000 rupees per hire per month, and also what intern is getting at later stage of this interview as we progress into it. So that is how we are generating revenue for now. Later, of course, there are so many more business models and verticals that we can build up into Bolstart. But right now, I want to keep my focus lean so that I have my focus on the goal of building this social network of startup ecosystem, which is going to be the sole pillar of the multiple vertical, business model and the platform that we are building here today.
Great, great. So I think a business model will evolve eventually. Like YouTube started with a personal videos uploading platform, and now it has become a mass, other than television network kind of a platform, so OTT platform. So I understand that. I think it will evolve. But it's a wonderful concept that you are bringing in people, invest founders into this ecosystem from a raising funds perspective, because that's a very critical area for any founder to scale that business up. And another thing which I've really liked about your model is that you're helping them to build a team. Because I think for small businesses and startups, one of the major challenges is that they don't have the right resources. It's not
Absolutely.
about hiring people. It's about evaluating people, how they
Mhm.
good are, and even how much you are able to sustain and get the job done, especially with interns, because they're there only to get that certificate or probably some small stipend which they will get in. They may or may not be that serious.
Mhm.
So how did you manage 93 interns, right? 93 interns, what you said. And how did you manage such a large number of interns? How did you scrutinize them? And what is your experience when they join the startup ecosystem like yours, which is a new ecosystem? And how have they responded and performed?
Right. So it's not that we have had 93 interns in one go. We had them over a short 3 month period duration of work. That's how we have 93 interns in the first place, right? So basically, since they are working just 3 months, I understood, they might not work so dedicatedly or passionately towards this. So there has to be that one chemistry point or one spark which motivates them to keep working here at Bold Start. And it was this one sentence which I told them, which really hit them really hard. I told them, look, compared to us, a startup which is not paying you anything compared to a corporate, if you get a job at corporate, you might feel like a really tiny or small part in that extremely large machine. But then when you work at my startup, I'll make sure that you will have so many responsibilities on your own two shoulders that you will feel that you're actually driving ahead the entire machine with your own two hands. So that is the sort of experience that we can give you here at Bolstart, and the learning curve will be exponential at Bolstart. So when I promised this to students and entrepreneurs, they were really happy. And I mean, think of it, right? If you're a financial modeling intern or a finance MBA intern, if you get a chance to build entire financial model of a startup in 3 months duration, what an impact it will have on a full-time employer. He'll think, yeah, this guy has made an entire financial model in just 3 months for this one startup, which is bound to become a unicorn someday. So this is something really exciting to a recruiter as well as to an intern. So that is how I built that chemistry and help them get this job. And that is how I'm telling them to get a job at other startups as well.
Great, great. I think that's just something really interesting. And I see that you have got some really credible names from the colleges as well.
Mhm.
So how did you approach these colleges, and why they allowed you to kind of reach out to their students and get these positions being, kind of applied for?
Mhm. So initially, while we were hiring for ourselves, it started out through a friend, right? I told he was doing an MBA somewhere. I am Jammu, and somewhere at I am Jammu, and I just connected with him saying that, hey, do you have any friends who would like to, maybe just work at a startup and maybe get a good experience for their resume? And he was like, yeah, sure. Let me just connect you to our entrepreneurship cell, and they'll be able to help you out. So I connected with them. They said maybe just share a couple of your JDs and we'll see how students respond. And once they did, I got good amount of response, and I felt that hey, so if I did this with one college, I can do this for multiple different colleges. So across tier one colleges, the strategy was to connect with the entrepreneurship cell and get them to get an understanding of Bold Start in the first place, and then get their students involved into Bold Start. And then for tier two, it is a whole different game, all new ball game altogether. Right, there are a lot of factors involved, because since it's a tier two college, they have trust issues. Secondly, they have they don't have bureaucracy in process wherein we can connect with the right person directly. It is through going through so many different people. So it's a challenge to connect with tier two colleges, but we are still doing it now.
Wow. So actually, you are right. In fact, there is another challenge which I've seen with these colleges, especially government colleges. Okay,
Hmm.
they feel because they feel that they're having all jobs, and they will never accept that their students are not getting jobs. Okay, and even whatever jobs they are getting, they're not happy there. But they will still
Right.
keep saying they're all perfectly fine. We have no placement issue. What will you do for us and things like that. How have you overcome that?
So it has been tough to overcome that. Really, honestly, I have not found a right solution for that. I've connected with a lot of professors as well, top level, the directors of placement cell, and they keep saying that, hey, we are all good, we have all the jobs that we need. But from our research, I told them that, look, from my own research and government report, there are around 5 crore students in India who are actively unemployed. And from your college placement statistics, it seems that only about 20% students are getting placed, rest 90% are finding job. They said, no, but we are placing everyone. I said, then no, you're wrong, because I have an employee right here sitting next to me, a business development executive who we hired externally and not through campus hiring. So you are absolutely wrong, and your students do need jobs. And when I asserted that, look, there is nothing there involved, there is no loss for you, only gain for you and loss for us, why are you not doing this? Then they were like, okay, yeah, maybe then I can think of it. But then they are again like, मुझे क्या मिलेगा इसमें से? And I said, good faith would be something that you're really getting out of this. But just think about this. You'll be able to place so many people in the. You will be directly contributing towards employability in India. Then they were motivated to get into this and involved. But it was a lot of back and forth and involves a lot of bureaucracy in this process. But it's tough. But we are still
Absolutely.
following.
Great. So, tell me one more thing from the student's perspective. So, this is from one is entrepreneur perspective, the other is college management perspective. From the student's perspective, what have you felt with them? Are they really employable? Are they really ready to do these internships, even? I mean, or the jobs? Or
Mhm.
what do they feel that they lack, which they're not getting in the colleges?
Mhm.
Is it, have you got some ideas on that?
So I would say that it depends on the kind of job posting that you're doing, right? I mean, of course, if you're paying them a smaller amount, you get that kind of student who are not really great at doing what they are expected to. But if you pay them well, then you can still find really good interns. It all depends on the kind of education they have had and kind of passion they have into this. But of course, for us, we have always had unpaid interns, because unfortunately we are bootstrapped and we do not have any funds in our company to app called InShorts by any chance?
Yes.
The news app,
Yes.
right? So we hired two interns who were able to, InShorts was created with a budget of 30 CR in mind, right? 30 crores. We had two unpaid interns who made similar kind of, not app, but similar kind of algorithm within a span of 6 months, free of cost. So I'm saying that there are interns out
Wow.
there who can do AI and machine learning free of cost for 6 months and are just as good as 30 crore company. So that's what I'm saying, that there is such a good amount of employable people out there who are not able to connect with the right employer. That is where Bullstart comes into the middle. We are able to connect them with them. That is how we are able to get these jobs for them.
I think this sounds very interesting, and I mean, I would still want to see some more success out here, and of course, we will. I would really want to work with you because we run a lot of employability improvement programs with colleges, especially with government colleges,
Mhm.
and we find this challenge that they don't accept that their students are not getting placed and things like that. And if we could work together on reaching out to these people, we are trying to break down that barrier at this point in time. And we
Right.
can work together a lot and we can give them a job support and a guarantee as well. So it is kind of a complete ecosystem which we can build up.
Absolutely.
And I certainly feel that even not only for the internships, but even for the jobs, specific jobs like your coding, your sales and marketing, your executive assistant or virtual assistant kind of jobs,
Mm-hmm.
HR, operations, finance, legal. These are very, the first time initial jobs. If we can provide them trainings before they actually join, the startups and the small businesses can benefit a lot. Because one is they will get the trained employees. The second is the student is immediately ready to get at least some 3 to 5 lakh rupees of annual CTC, which is a fairly
Exactly.
decent CTC for somebody to start off,
Exactly.
even today. Okay. I mean, not everybody will get 12, 15, or 18 or 20 lakh rupees of annual CTC, right?
Right.
There are a lot of people right now who will start their career with 3 lakh rupees. That itself is a good income, right? Having 20, 25,000 rupees in hand is not a simple, right? It's not easy. And for startups and small businesses also, they will have certain budgets like this, and creating that entire ecosystem is going to be very, very important. So
Right.
I think, Rishabh, we should have a separate call on this, how we can leverage uh, both the employment and the entrepreneurship
Mm-hmm.
ecosystem.
Absolutely.
Frankly, I would really want to say thanks to coming on this, Top Bringle Talks to share about your idea, your bold start, what you're doing. And I
Mm-hmm.
think there are a lot of further opportunities which are coming in. So we'll definitely work on the same,
Sure.
because bold start, I feel that can really help us transforming that 1 billion lives or 1
Mm-hmm.
million businesses and 100 unicorns.
Mm-hmm.
We never know that at least, one or two or 10 or 20 unicorns comes out from your ecosystem itself. So we will really hope for that. And
Thank you.
so I think there's a lot of things which we can do together.
Sure.
Uh,
Sure.
but just one message which you want to give it to startup founders, early stage startup founders, and to the interns. One single message to both of them. What would that be?
Um, I don't know. I feel I'm too young to give such kind of a message to early stage entrepreneurs or even students out there because I'm myself hustling a lot, right? Uh, I know a struggle, but I feel that one quality that will definitely guarantee success is be perseverant. Even if you fall down, even if someone throws you down, just be perseverant enough or resilient enough to stand back up and just take one step at a time and keep going ahead. That's how they will find success. That's the mantra of success for every successful entrepreneur out there, I believe.
Lovely, lovely. And any message for the students who are getting into internship?
I would say well, I would say think of it in passionate terms or think of it in long term kind of vision, as in not what you're gaining in these 3 months, but think of it what you'll be gaining in these 3 months that you can use for your entire life ahead. Think of it is always in a long term vision kind of a game. So that's my message to them. Think long term.
Great, great. So, Rishabh, one interesting question.
Hmm.
You are helping entrepreneurs to raise funds. You are helping entrepreneurs to get employees or interns, on that to help them build up a team.
Hmm.
Are you raising funds at this point in time?
Yes, I am raising funds myself. We are raising around 60 lakh rupees for our startup on a basis of convertible notes.
Great. So I think, Rishabh, let's connect offline. Will be happy to support you on that. I think you're doing a great mission, and
Thank you, sir.
we'll discuss on that as well. We'll work on the same. Apart from that, I think, uh, one thing which I seriously feel that we should be making it as a collaborative ecosystem. There should be some platform which could
Mhm.
connect these requirement of these entrepreneurs into the for the right skill sets, and how we could have these employees or these interns coming up with the right skill sets and matching that. So I think that's one thing which we should be looking at in the future, because what I feel is, uh, having an 18 plus years of a corporate experience, I've seen that 80% of the people are sitting at a wrong place. And it's proven
Really?
by McKinsey or various other reports. So,
Wow. Okay.
and it's the problem within the evaluation criteria itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because people evaluate you basis on your resume.
Absolutely.
not basis on your skill sets.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. And that's where the challenge comes in. So we are trying to solve at Bringle, we are trying to solve that problem, that
Mhm.
how we could do this matching basis on a skill set rather than just a simple resume per
Resume.
se.
Right.
Okay, so I think we can work lot many things out there as well with your set of colleges, with our set of colleges. We
Mhm.
can work on a collaborative model, and with our design your unicorn ecosystem, I think we'll be able to help lot many entrepreneurs to get investors as well, and investors are an opportunity to take an informed decision. So let's discuss
Absolutely.
on that. We will talk about in the future. Okay.
Done.
So thank you so much, Rishabh, for this. I'll ask some couple of quick fire round kind of questions, little fun
Okay.
questions. So
Okay.
don't want to take too much of time.
Okay.
Okay. So Rishabh, it's a very maybe a difficult question, but
Mhm.
if you get a chance to date three people,
Mhm.
dead or alive,
Mhm.
who will those people be and why?
Um, I would like to take first would be Swami Vivekananda for sure. Second would be
Mhm.
JRD Tata, and third would be Andrew Carnegie. All three are accomplished men in their own respects. The reason for Swami Vivekananda is, of course, he turned from a entrepreneur aspiring to become an aspiring man in this ecosystem, and he gave speeches all across the world. And like
Mhm.
me myself, he's a Freemason, so I would like to definitely connect with a brother there. JRD Tata, because I absolutely love him, and who doesn't, right? I want to meet this entrepreneur and get his some of his fire into me. And lastly, Andrew
Right.
Carnegie, to learn perseverance from him. How he came from that 13-year-old boy who was earning $1 per day at a factory to owning a multi-billion-dollar empire across the globe, and he is still considered the second richest person in the world, even after giving away half of his wealth to philanthropy. So I would really love to learn from him for sure.
Great, great. I think you have made me also learn something today. And a JRD Tata, I can definitely understand. I think coming from a mechanical background and the way he has started Air India, and now Air India coming back to Tata's, with
Right.
Ratan Tata. So I'm sure it's a dream come true for JRD. I mean, unfortunately, or with JRD Tata is not there with us, but I'm sure wherever his soul is, he must be really relieved and he must be really happy to
Right.
see what's coming back. So great, great thoughts.
Mhm.
Uh, and okay, another question, a little tricky one.
Okay.
Let's say you get this opportunity to transform 1 billion lives.
Mhm.
Okay, what one thing you would like to do so that we could achieve this target as early as possible? Where we should focus upon?
Hmm. You're saying that basically to transform 1 billion lives, what is a quick strategy that we can throw about, right, to transform 1 billion lives?
Exactly,
I would
exactly.
say you are right on spot with Pringle because I have a deep belief in Jainism, wherein we have something called as Keval Nyan or Nyan, right? So giving people
Mhm.
that knowledge or Gyan will help them, sort their own lives out and not have us, handhold them together. So just giving them knowledge through employability or through any other sector means would be the way to transform 1 billion or 100 billion lives for that matter. Say.
Wonderful, wonderful. In fact, I think when you mentioned about Jainism and the Keval Gyan, we are also there is a lot of aspects of skills development in our ancient Gurukul systems, which was actually killed by Britishers and the
Right,
all
right,
other invaders who has come in. And in fact, that system was fairly well developed skill development ecosystem, which we are trying to revive at this point
right.
in time, because if you see Pandavas or even Ramayana, whatever you see, those were trained in almost 50 plus skills or
Skills.
different aspects of the
Right.
including cooking and
Mhm.
cleaning, washing, and other aspects of it. But there would be one particular aspect which will come up very strongly for them, and that's where we call master in one, jack of all trades. So uh, I think in Jains also there were a lot of Gurukul system which was there,
Right.
and that Gurukul system has given them a lot of understanding, a financial acumen as well. The understanding about the community, bringing out that skill sets. And in fact, I think that is one of the reasons that most of the Jans you will find they're doing pretty well into the ecosystem
Right.
today. And I don't want to make it very Jan related interview, but
Right.
yeah, I'm just saying that the Gurukul system was definitely one of those systems which used to give them a complete skill development and used to, in fact, guide them at a very early age where they should be going forward for, and
Mhm.
they'll be nurtured, accordingly for the same.
Right.
Great. So I think that's lovely, Rushabh. Nice talking to you,
Mhm.
and we'll definitely reconnect offline. We'll take this journey forward. We'll take these discussions forward. And once again, thank you so much for joining us today for Bringle Talks.
Thank you so much for having me here today. And I would say that I learned a lot from you as well. Instead of just telling you about my story and what I did in the ecosystem, I got to learn so much about you and what you're trying to do and how I can do it just through your questions. And as well as the knowledge about Jainism that you imparted was really eye opening and illuminating for me. Right. So thank you so much for that and this opportunity. Really appreciate it. And I hope we can definitely connect soon.
Sure, we will. We will. Thank you so much, Rishabh.
Thank
Wish
you.
you very, very all the best in the bold start journey and keep bringing, keep growing.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.